So Feel Good Fridays is our live show every Friday at 4 p.m. where we share with you guys some good news from all over the world. All right, so let's see what we have in store today. All right, so first things first, I'm going to announce our new MJKO schedule, our online programming. All right, so with school coming back in effect in mid-September, we have updated our class schedule, and we'll post this on our website and all our social media channels, so everyone will be kept up to date. All right, so first things first. All right, visit mjko.ca and click the red donate button in the top right. It'll take you to our donation page. So please consider donating to MJKO. All right. Of course, please, support your family and yourself first before considering donating to MJKO. All right, this is our donation page. Next, visit our friends over at shapeyourlifeboxing.com. All right, so they are one of our partners, so be sure to check them out. shapeyourlifeboxing.com. Our first story of the day: New Jersey man spots ocean beach trash volunteers on webcam. All right, so this headline: 2 homeless men have picked up litter every day for 4 years. Wow. At this point, I think the city should employ these 2 homeless men to be some city staff that picks up garbage. Anyways, let's take a look.
Where 2 men caught his eye.
They open the back of their minivan, they pull out 2 buckets, and they walk around the entire beach area cleaning up. God bless them for doing what they're doing.
Morning.
Morning.
Mark asked us if we could thank those men.
You've got a fan watching you from New Jersey from that webcam over there.
David Hendon and Mark Gervais wake up at the crack of dawn every day to pick up trash.
You're covered in sweat.
Yeah.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Why work so hard?
Well, because this place looks like otherwise.
Mark and Dave are homeless and live in this van with their dog.
Interesting. Oh, they got a dog.
I love this community, and people come down here at night and get drunk and trashed and break bottles, and we're dog lovers.
I feel you, man.
I hate to see a dog step on a piece of glass and cut their paws.
Oh, wow, he
Turns
used
out the 2 guys
an old
who
frying
aren't
basket to
asking for
sift through the
anything do have a
sand.
need. If they don't get some work done on their van soon,
nice.
Mark and Dave won't have a home.
We're homeless, not moralists. My dad taught me the first time I went fishing, you always make a place look better than it was when you got there.
For 4 years, they've even swept the sand, then sifted it.
Cigarette butts, hair.
In order to capture every itty-bitty piece of litter.
When we come down every morning, it's trashed. And then it looks like, look at it now.
Dave and Mark both beat addiction and figured if they were going to be clean, the streets should be too.
Makes me feel good when everybody comes up and tells me thank you for
city
a
can
good
do
job.
something for these guys, because that's
thank you.
Amazing. They're cleaning up the beach.
So from the West Coast, it was time to report back to the East.
Their names are Mark and Dave. They're homeless.
They're homeless?
Yep.
Okay, so moving on to our next story. Chadwick Boseman, may he rest in peace. Chadwick Boseman's hometown, they're working on a statue in honor of him. So that is pretty cool. All right, so in his hometown in South Carolina. Okay, so it's going to be memorialized in South Carolina hometown. Okay, here we go. Ardenson, South Carolina. Wow, so if I ever visit Ardenson, I'll be sure to visit Chadwick Boseman's statue. All right, next story. All right, let's take a look at this pig and his quote-unquote dad.
A potential farm I was thinking about buying when I heard a sound. Hi. I found him about 4 months old. People got up and moved and left him there. This is his living quarters. The minute I laid eyes on him, I said, "Oh, hi, Arthur."
You're a good boy, Arthur. You're a very good boy.
I knew from that second that he is going to be with me forever, no matter what happens in my life. And I wasn't leaving for any second. And I said to the agent, "I'm not leaving this property without this pig." I think everybody that works at sanctuaries always has a dream.
A lot of people don't realize that pigs are
the farm's for sale,
very sociable, kind of like dogs.
And talked to the owner. The owner said he doesn't care. Just take them. I gotta surprise you, Arthur. Ready? Oh, is that delicious? It was instant. I just loved him so much, like already. Why I waited to hear back about the property. I took him to my friend Mike, and I'd go and visit him every couple of days. Good morning, Arthur. It was just nice seeing him grow up. Hi. Good morning. Aw, you're such a good boy.
I wonder what it's like having an exotic pet.
My 125 pound.
An exotic pet is anything that is not a dog or a cat. But you have to say, who do you think is your pet?
He always jumped in my lap. I would just lay against the wall. He'd dive on my lap. Every time I visited him, he weighed way more. You're killing me. I have some big news, Arthur. We closed on the property. Yay! Arthur's Acres is all yours. And we hope to get Arthur there in a couple weeks. As you can see, he's very excited. Very excited. Are you very excited? I rescued 2 girls because I didn't want to bring Arthur back by himself. There you go, Faye. There you go, Vivian. I was really nervous about his reaction, so we brought Faye and Vivian here first. Arthur. He was very excited.
That is a huge plot of land for pigs.
To watch him and his sisters thrive and enjoy themselves and form an incredible bond.
You're gonna live a happy life.
What are you doing? You having a good time? Aww. We let them play soccer, and it's really funny. We have a ton of the tree balls, and we fill them up, and they dribble the balls. It's incredible. Okay, pigs, it's soccer practice. We're playing the Popeyes next week. What do you got? Go, Arthur. I'm so bonded with him, and he knows that.
Get him. Get him, Arthur.
He's like completely fun, loving, full of energy, definition of happy-go-lucky. He's like a 600-pound dog. I want to get a picture.
Wow. He's 600 pounds. He does not look like 600 pounds. All right, we're going to move on to our next story, all right? Bob Arum, top rank promoter, all right? It's a very big boxing promotion. They have recently announced that Vasily Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez, one of the best boxing fights of this year, is going to be free on ESPN. The Lopez showdown will be shown without any additional charge to the public. Wow, so it's free to the public. Of course, if you have ESPN, right? So a lot of the big boxing fights are usually on pay-per-view. So this time it is not. All right. So for anyone who doesn't know, Vasily Lomachenko on the right is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist and 3-time 3-weight division world champion. Okay, and Teofimo, he just won his lightweight belt, so he is also a world champion. All right, and of course here is Vasily Lomachenko with all his belts. All right, I found it very funny seeing these boxers wear all their belts. All right, so he is a 3-weight division world champion and a former 2-time Olympic gold medalist. So it is going to be a very, very good fight taking place in October, I believe. So that should be something to look forward to. Our next story from Zimbabwe. All right, Zimbabwe bans coal mining in Hong and other game parks. All right, so Zimbabwe has banned mining in all its national parks and reserving a decision to let Chinese firm explore for coal in its famous Hongguang Park. Okay, that is very interesting. All right, well, that's a good move. Banning coal mining. All right, next story from Justin Trudeau. All right, so Trudeau announces cash for loan support to Black Canadian entrepreneurs. So let's take a listen.
This morning, I can announce that the Government of Canada, in partnership with Canadian banks, is investing nearly $221 million to launch Canada's first ever Black entrepreneurship program.
All right. $221 million.
Canada's share will be nearly $93 million over 4 years as part of this program. The Black Entrepreneurship Program will help thousands of Black business owners through our economic recovery and into the months and years ahead. I'd like to take a moment to thank our partners for working with us to address an issue Black Canadians have faced for far too long. The Black Entrepreneurship Program will include funding to support 3 new initiatives: a national ecosystem fund, a Black Entrepreneurship Loan Fund, and a Black Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub. Let me start with the National Ecosystem Fund. Black business owners and entrepreneurs often have a hard time getting the right tools and mentorship to succeed. With this new National Ecosystem Fund, Black entrepreneurs will have access to financial planning services and business training they need for the months and years to come. Black entrepreneurs also continue to face systemic barriers when it comes to accessing loans from financial institutions. That's what the second part of our program, the Black Entrepreneurship Loan.
So that is great news if you are a Black entrepreneur in Canada. Very interesting. All right, next up in the news, also from Canada. All right, so a court rejects Bell and Rogers' appeal of the CRTC decision on wholesale internet rates. All right, so let's take a listen. Big telecom companies are ordered to pay court costs for smaller internet service providers on the other side of the case. Nice. All right, so if anyone doesn't know, all right, Bell, Rogers are the biggest two, and also TELUS. They're known as the big three. Historically, they've kept internet prices for home internet and mobile internet plans incredibly high. I believe Canada is ranked somewhere in the 200s out of 208 countries polled in terms of internet pricing. So we are actually really behind. You know, our internet is actually really expensive. So hopefully one day we'll have good competitive pricing compared to the rest of the world, you know, instead of being 200th place, something like that. So let's take a read. Hopefully we can get cheaper internet. Okay, so the federal court dismissed appeals by Canada's largest telephone and cable companies Thursday, handing them an interim victory to the country's independent internet providers. Nice. So they also ordered the network owners, including Bell, TELUS, Rogers, and others, to pay costs of the appeal to Tech Savvy, which is Canada's largest independent internet service provider. All right, so hopefully the CRTC steps up, and you know, we need more competition in the cable and internet game and mobile phone game in Canada. So hopefully one day we can have cheap internet. All right, next story. TIFF 2020 kicks off with drive-ins and reduced screenings amid pandemics. Huh. All right, let's take a look.
It is opening night for the 45th edition of the Toronto International Film Festival, and it's unlike any other in the history of the event. CB24's Christina Talia is not on a red carpet. She's on the ramp in the studio because this is a year, as we mentioned, everything's different.
That was my opening line. I mean, normally, it's okay, Nick. Normally, you know, we have an anchor here in studio that says live to the red carpet, and the reporter pops up dressed all nice, glittery earrings, lots of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm. Not this year, unfortunately. So this is the Toronto International Film Festival pandemic style. So it's still underway, just not with all the stars in town, not with that, you know, bustling festival street. Much different. You can consider this the drive-in version, and there's a look at it right now. So there are a number of screenings, and let me explain how this works. So there's a drive-ins at several locations around town. And of course, this is all part of the effort to halt the spread of COVID-19. So you can watch some films at Polson Pier, also Ontario Place. But the organizers of TIFF still want people to be able to enjoy some of these cinematic creations. Keep in mind, filmmakers, other industry professionals, production teams, they spend years.
Well, that should be interesting. Drive-in, essentially drive-in theater. I mean, that should be really interesting. Because I know a lot of people they complain that obviously you're in your car, you can watch it fine and you can hear it fine, but it's not the same experience, especially if there's bad weather outside. It kind of, you know, makes it hard to see. But that should be really interesting, and that's good for TIFF to adapt. All right, next story from America, right? So there may be a shortage of election poll workers. Corporate America wants to help. So Old Navy, Target, Warby Parker, and Compass Coffee are paying employees for time off to vote and work at polls. Wow. So if you work for like these companies, you're already getting paid for time off, and then you're also getting paid to work at the polls. Wow, that's like double money right there. All right, so let's take a look. Okay, so here's a tweet from Compass Coffee is working the polls this election day. Join us. Wow. I know if you ever have the chance of working the polls in Canada, they actually pay a pretty good premium. I mean, it's like a 1, 2, or 3 day job working the polls, but it does pay pretty well. All right, next story from South Australia. South Australia bans on single-use plastic cutlery and straws hailed as historic. So retailers say they don't have enough time to adjust to the law, which is likely to come into effect in early 2021. That's not enough time, early 2021. That's like 4, 5, 6 months. I mean, not like it's a 1 month deadline. Okay, so let's see. South Australia has become the first Australian state to introduce laws banning some single-use plastics, including cutlery, straws, and stirrers. Interesting. Okay. I know in Canada, hey, what's up, Bias? In Canada, that a lot of places are using recycled cutlery and straws. I know, who is it? A&W, they use recycled paper straws. So should be interesting. All right, next story of the day from also Australia. All right, so class action lawsuit to stop planned coal mine extension filed by climate action focused Australian teenagers. All right, let's take a listen.
Deeply anxious about the future right now. I see Australia particularly participating in a lot of inaction and exacerbating, continuing to bail out the fossil fuel industry when it's irresponsible and unsustainable.
Yeah, I'm really worried. Like climate anxiety, it affects me, and I know many, many people that it affects. It's really, really scary to think about the future and
so these teens are part of a class action lawsuit to stop coal mining in Australia. Very interesting, Coal mining, of course, has a lot of environmental impact, and we know, well, scientists project that by 2050 things are going to be really bad. So hopefully we can start to get a handle on the environment and help make it a greener place. All right, so let's move on to our next story from Hungary. Hungary researcher Roska wins award for procedure that could cure blindness. Keyword there, could. So let's take a read. Medical scientist Botond Roska has landed a 100 million euro check from Germany Korber Foundation for his groundbreaking research. His gene-based treatment to restore sight has already entered clinical trials. Wow, that's amazing. Cure blindness. So I wonder if that means in the future, if, naturally people eyesight gets worse and worse with old age, can cure that. So a Hungarian researcher has won a $1 million euro check. Okay. Clinical tests on blind volunteers are already underway as a result of the Budapest-born researchers' groundbreaking work. Wow. I'm going to be sure to follow that then. All right, next story, also in the news from Poland. Poland to accelerate coal phase out. I feel like this is our third coal news story of the day. Anyways, spend billion on renewable and nuclear energy. All right, so that is pretty good news. As you can see, this is a coal plant and releases a lot of CO2 and carbon emissions. So renewable energy and nuclear energy. So a lot of people are on the fence about nuclear energy. In terms of the energy outputs, nuclear energy is by far the best, and the only thing that sucks about nuclear energy is the nuclear waste. So We'll see. That is a step in the right direction for Poland. All right, next one. Willy Wonka 2020. Let's go. Jelly Bean founder offers golden ticket hunt to give his factory key. Okay, where do I sign up? Wow. So a real life 2020 version of Willy Wonka himself is inviting you to join his little treasure hunt just like a movie. Wow. Let's see. Okay, if you're interested, you only need to pay $50 to join the contest. This fee will give you a heads up on on where to look for the golden ticket necklace. If you happen to get the clue already, you need to hurry because each state only accommodates 1,000 participants. Once you get the necklace, you can have a cash prize, or you can get a chance to search for the Klein, for what Klein has been calling the ultimate treasure, which is the key to one of his candy factories. Plus, all expenses paid trips and education to a candy making university. There's a candy making university? Wow. I don't know. The barrier to entry on this is kind of steep at $50, but the prizes sound really, really good. So, sounds like it's only for the States, so good luck to everyone in the States. Hopefully, we can hear about the winner sometime in the future. All right, next one from New Orleans, sorry. Baby gorilla born at Audubon Zoo in New Orleans. All right, so let's take a look at some pictures. All right, that's pretty small. Let's take a look at this video then. Baby gorilla. Oh, okay, let's put it on YouTube then. Oh. Wow, it is incredibly tiny. Whoa, those hands are giant. The baby's hands, I mean. Oh, look at that. Napping together. Wow. That is cute. Alrighty, next story, also an animal story. Dog reunited with family after a year in the shelter. Let's take a look.
Celebrate the holiday at home with her family after spending the last year in a shelter.
Kimberly Kurth has more on the special adoption.
When Deborah Warren lost her husband a year ago, she was faced with overwhelming grief and a tough decision.
I regretted it every day.
She surrendered their beloved pit bull Jada to a shelter. Warren and her family thought they would never see her again.
No, we didn't think she was alive.
We thought.
Jada spent a year without her family and her home. The No-Kill Rescue North Shore Humane Society in Covington came to her aid, caring for her the best they could. They placed her in their adoption program and even turned to Facebook, pleading for help.
Recently, we did a post kind of showing how distressed Jada is at the shelter. She just cries all the time when she sees us walking by the kennel. She makes the saddest cry ever, and she's the sweetest dog. So we decided we needed to reach out to everybody on Facebook again and try to find her a home. Just because she's so perfect and we can't understand why she wasn't adopted yet. So the extended family actually saw this post and they were like, oh my goodness, we thought she was gone.
And today, a bittersweet moment for her temporary caregivers.
It's been a long time
cute pit bull.
Been through a lot with this girl,
Wow.
and she deserves the most happy.
What a cute pit bull indeed. Well, I am happy that the dog got reunited with his family. Alrighty. Next story from Time. Alright, so first clone of endangered Przewalski horse born in conservation effort to save the species. Okay, so the first successfully cloned endangered Przewalski horse was born on August 6th in a veterinarian facility in Texas. San Diego Zoo Global announced on Friday. Wow. So the horse was cloned from DNA of a male horse cryopreserved by the zoo in 1980. So the Przewalski horse are critically endangered animals that are found in Mongolia per Smithsonian National Zoo. They're considered the last species of truly wild horses and are distant cousins of modern-day domestic horses, having likely split from a common ancestor around 500,000 years ago per Smithsonian. Wow. I guess humans have the ability to clone now. At least animals. Wow, I am absolutely amazed. Anyways, let's get into some news from Toronto. So a brand new Toronto sign is being installed and it's going to cost the city some money. All right, so Mayor Tory announced the sign. All right, and as you can see, the old sign looked like that, and now it's gone. All right, but they're going to replace it, so hopefully it lasts a long time. All right, next one, Casa Loma is transforming into a massive haunted house for Halloween. So let's take a look. All right, so from October 2nd to October 3rd, Casa Loma. Wait, you can get tickets? Okay, so Legends of Horror runs from October 2nd to October 31st. Tickets start around $30. The entire tour is around 2 kilometers and runs in about an hour. The Raptors themselves even checked it out last year. Interesting. So it's a haunted house, eh? Let's take a look. That should be interesting. I think, what? Wow. That's some cool mice effect. I hope that was an effect. So that should be interesting. I would suspect that, you know, they're gonna stagger the people on the tours to make sure that it is not crowded and they're socially distanced. So that means if you're going, I would think you would enjoy it more with less people around, to be honest. So, all right, next story. Drake hosts Steph Curry for a private shootout at his home court. So Steph Curry was in Toronto and Drake's home court in his mansion in Rosedale. So let's take a look.
You're making a drink like that.
Ooh, that's Drake. Oh, here's Steph. Of course, Steph makes it. Man, Drake's looking pretty beefy. How does he have a full-size court in his mansion? Wow, his mansion must be huge. Because he has an indoor and outdoor pool, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Drake is looking beefy. Wow. He's been hitting the weights for sure. If only Steph played for Toronto. That would be a dream. Nice. Alrighty. Alright, so let's get to our second last story of the day. Alright, Popeye's famous fried chicken sandwich is finally coming to Toronto. So let's see. Fried chicken lovers are anxiously waiting. Alright, so where can we get it? Oh wait, it's now set to launch Canada-wide on Monday, September 14th. Alright. That's next Monday. I'm gonna try it out. That's in like 3 days. I'm gonna copy that link because I gotta send it to all my friends. All right. So Kansas City Chiefs. All right. They recently played a game yesterday, and they had about 16,000 fans in the stadium. So of course, if you don't follow football stadiums hold around 80,000 fans usually. And as you can see from this picture, it's only 16,000 fans and they're all spaced out, and football stadiums are outdoors, so that's another aspect in their favor, right? Being outdoors, right? And not indoors. So that's pretty interesting. So let's take a look from the game last night. All right, so here's the game. And as you can see, I pause it. They're all pretty spaced out, all the fans in the main deck, second deck, and upper deck. That should be pretty cool. I mean, I know the Scotiabank Arena here in Toronto only holds about 20,000 fans. So I mean, football stadiums can easily socially distant. Anyway, so that is it for today. Thank you all for joining me, and hopefully you all enjoyed the positive news. All right, so before we go, if you are a youth going through a difficult time right now, I know everyone's might be going through a hard time due to the pandemic and isolating and all that. So if you are a youth, please check out kidshelpphone.ca. all right, you can text them, phone them, or live chat them. All right, so kidshelpphone.ca. This next mental health resource is for everyone, for adults and youth alike. All right, so you can check out Wellness Together Canada. All right, you can Google that or go to their website, ca.portal.gs. All right, and you can see, scroll down, there are resources for youth and resources for adults. All right, so that concludes our show, and let's get Ibrahim to play us out.
Baby, oh, city's cold and empty, no one's around to judge me.